I was so sorry, I was tired. One, two, three, four.
It's no secret that schools are stuck in the past, using outdated teaching methods that have very little relevance to the real world. From standardized testing to rigid curriculums, the modern education system often fails to engage students and provide them with the skills that they need to succeed in life. Instead of fostering creativity, critical thinking, and innovation, schools often prioritize memorization, conformity, and obedience. Meanwhile, in today's fast-paced, technology-driven society, we need a form of education that prepares students for the challenges and opportunities of the present time. So for today, I thought we'd take a look at 8 things that school fails to teach students that I think are of the utmost importance in today's world. What ties all of the following points together is that school simply lacks enjoyment. However, thanks to our wonderful sponsor, Brilliant, learning no longer has to be a tedious activity. With a vast array of lessons spanning various subjects like math, logic, astrophysics, or neural networks, Brilliant offers an engaging and interactive learning experience. Upon signing up, Brilliant personalizes the lessons based on your proficiency level through a few tailored questions. As you delve into the interactive challenges and puzzles, you'll find yourself learning effortlessly. It's an enjoyable and stimulating platform, particularly beneficial for visual learners like myself. And you can try Brilliant completely free for a full 30 days and get 20% off your annual premium subscription by visiting brilliant.org/AndreiTserba. That's AndreiTerbea. The moment you try it, it will probably become your new favorite activity on your journey as a lifelong learner. Thanks to Brilliant for sponsoring us. Now let's get back into our video. I remember going to school and just learning whatever we were being taught. And by taught, I mean what some lady with a monotone voice would ramble for an hour and we had to transcribe word for word. There was no sense of progression, no sense of achievement, and to get a good grade, we just had to spit back the same information we were told as closely as possible. I think an important skill that is lacking in school curriculums today is how to set goals. Learning would be much more engaging if they would simply tell students, this is what we're trying to learn, this is why it's important, and this is how you can keep track of your own progress along the way. Setting goals provides a palpable target to move towards, keeping you engaged and motivated. But if you don't know what you're working for, it's much more likely to procrastinate and wander aimlessly throughout school, and much worse later on throughout life. Now, the implicit flip side of setting goals is the inevitable encounter with failure. I think it's in our human nature to want to be good at something, but a mental trap that most people fall into is avoiding failure at all costs. In the field of drawing, for example, it's all too common to think, I can't start posting my artworks online, I have to get good at drawing first. But in reality, it's the exact opposite way around. By posting every crappy design and bad drawing and getting feedback on them, you learn as you fail until you don't fail as much anymore. I wish school would teach kids how important it is is to fail. Because when you cling to the idea that you have to be successful, you will generally play it safe. Because failure is the opposite of success, right? Therein lies the paradox. By avoiding failure, you're missing out on valuable learning experiences that would otherwise accelerate your way to success. So when schools promote a mentality of being good enough via participation trophies and hollow praise, they're denying kids a crucial opportunity to overcome challenges and grow. This is a big one. Critical thinking. It's kind of ironic to expect schools to promote it though, because the entire history of the modern education system is rooted in making students docile and conforming to societal norms. It all stems from the early 1800s with the Prussian education model that was specifically designed to meet the needs of the state, i.e. to prepare kids for a life of obedience and working in factories for very low wages. The Prussian model was then adopted in much of the Western world, where it continues to function very similarly to this day. If schools were to make a greater effort in fostering critical thinking, students would learn to question assumptions, evaluate evidence, and analyze information from multiple perspectives. Media manipulation would be far less effective, people wouldn't be as susceptible to electing leaders for the wrong reasons, and society as a whole would be much more advanced. And I can't help but wonder if the education system isn't doing this out of laziness, or just intentionally doesn't want that scenario to play out. Unless you were born with a trust fund and never had to worry about money in your entire life, I know for a fact that nobody ever explained money management to you. I mean, there's basic advice that you get from your parents if you're lucky, such as don't spend more than you earn, or save for a rainy day. But when it comes to the nitty-gritty details of budgeting, investing, and understanding how credit cards and taxes work, for some reason, we're left to figure it out on our own. How come we don't learn about this in school? It's by far one of the most important skills in life. And if you understand taxes, by the way, you understand that you are directly contributing to the development of the city you live in. And then you can demand that your tax money be put to work in a way that aligns with your needs. And then you'll have a better looking neighborhood, better roads, more facilities, and a higher standard of life altogether. But in order for that to happen, it all has to start with financial literacy being taught in schools. History is usually taught as something entirely separate from the timeline we're living through today, which is why it's generally considered by many to be one of the most boring subjects in school. To most students, what Napoleon did 200 years ago is no more relevant than how Sauron forged the One Ring to rule them all. One ring to find, one ring to bring. Now that I think about it, I might actually care more about that one. But just like a well-crafted work of fiction, history is a captivating narrative that spans across generations. Your parents lived a slightly different life than yours, and your grandparents even more so, and their parents and their grandparents and so forth. So when you build out your family tree, you start to see how times changed little by little, and you look at the events from the past through a different lens because your ancestors lived through a lot of the seemingly boring stuff that you would normally just read about in a textbook. I think history should be studied backwards, figuring out how exactly we got to where we are now. Maya Angelou once said, if you don't know where you've come from, you don't know where you're going. So understanding the history of your family, your ancestors, your city, your country, and that of the entire world should be a much more personal journey than simply memorizing the dates of some war you'll never care about. We all have disagreements in life, whether it's with our parents, a friend, a boss, your spouse, etc. Studies show that an average family spends roughly 49 minutes every single day just arguing, and that doesn't even count conflicts outside of the household. That's why I think it's necessary to learn very early on how to have a framework for arguing. Sure, some schools have debate clubs that encourage these skills, but in my opinion, this is such a pervasive issue that it should be incorporated into the curriculum across the board. Students would develop the ability to navigate conflicts, listen to opposing ideas, seek consensus, and respect a well-constructed argument even when they disagree with it. If you look at Twitter for just a fraction of a second, you'll see we're nowhere close to that. I think most people don't even know that there's such a thing as having a mental framework when having a fight with someone. Considering how inevitable it is to run into disagreements with the people in your life, I think learning how to argue is one of the most fundamental skills that's not being taught at all. Listen, not everyone needs to be a CEO. The world certainly doesn't need a population of wannabe entrepreneurs parading around as if they're destined to become the next Steve Jobs. However, introducing the concept of entrepreneurship to children is undeniably valuable. It instills resourcefulness and a proactive mindset. It sharpens one's sense for identifying opportunities and taking calculated risks. These aren't just qualities that you need in the world of business, by the way. Understanding entrepreneurship from a young age nurtures a self-reliant spirit that transcends traditional career paths. It gives the child the tools needed to carve their own path, pursue their passions, and contribute to the world around them in a meaningful way. Obviously, school plays a pivotal role in one's life, largely shaping their identity and setting them a foundation for their future. But what often gets overlooked at that age is that school is just one tiny chapter in a much larger story. When you're sitting in a classroom with the same 30 people every day, it's easy to get caught up in a bubble. You've got your group of friends, that girl or boy that you've got a crush on, the occasional bully. There's this entire ecosystem that feels like that's your entire life right there. What's missing, in my opinion, is someone telling these kids that a lot of what surrounds them today, friends, beliefs, peer pressure, it will all be absolutely irrelevant the moment they graduate. And that goes both ways, by the way. If you're having a miserable time, it's only temporary. And if you're the most popular kid in school, I'm afraid to tell you that will also pass. And if there's one thing that you don't want to be, it's 43 years old still talking about how you were once the prom queen. What do you think school should teach kids more? Which topic from the ones that we've discussed do you resonate with the most, and why? Let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again very soon.
This one's so confusing.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Top Things. Today we're going to learn about 10 morning habits geniuses use every day. Now, let's begin. Number 1, freedom from distraction. Do you watch TV in the morning? Do you browse social media over breakfast? Distractors may be a regular part of your morning routine. A few seconds on your phone seems harmless, but the world's most intelligent people think otherwise. Geniuses avoid all distractions in the morning. When eating breakfast, for example, geniuses don't distract themselves. It's fun to watch an episode of TV in the morning, but you're doing much more harm than good. Watching TV clouds your mind and it shatters your concentration. It leads you down an unproductive path because it starts your morning with lazy habits. When you distract yourself in the morning, you make it harder to build momentum. Normally, productive habits snowball into a more productive mindset. If you start the day with a bad habit, it creates negativity from the get-go. So, what do geniuses do instead? Geniuses use their mornings to open up their minds. Over breakfast, they take the time to enjoy their food. They reflect on the day before and set goals for the day to come. They use these quiet moments to heighten their concentration. Instead of zoning out, geniuses use their mornings to zone in. Number 2, routine exploration. A genius is not born. A genius is made. To be a genius, you have to spend your life in pursuit of knowledge, mastery, and excellence. And that requires you to learn constantly and passionately. You have to nurture a fearless curiosity and feed your brain a constant stream of inspiration. But how do you do all this on a daily basis? It's a lot easier than it sounds. Geniuses build their brains by learning every morning. They set aside 1 hour to explore a new subject. And during this block of time, they read, they listen to podcasts, and they get creative. They'll catch up on the news or dive into any subjects that fascinate them. Exploring new subjects may feel intimidating. It may seem out of your reach, but geniuses don't learn everything overnight. They grow their knowledge by turning exploration into a daily routine, and you can do the same. Number 3, purist priorities. Do you have a long list of things you want to accomplish? Does your to-do list go on for pages and pages? Many of us are overflowing with goals, habits, and ideas. Our minds are cluttered, our dreams are scattered. We want to achieve everything, but when we try to achieve everything, well, we achieve nothing. No matter how intelligent you are, you cannot accomplish 10 dreams at once. Your energy will fade and your performance will suffer across the board. Geniuses take a purist approach to their goals. In other words, they cut their to-do lists down to a select few goals. Instead of aspiring for everything, geniuses pick 2 or 3 things and then commit all of their time to those few goals. But how do you incorporate a purist mentality into your routine? At the start of every morning, grab a pen and a piece of paper. On that piece of paper, write down 2 things that you will accomplish today. Not things you want to accomplish, not things you should accomplish, but 2 things that you will accomplish. Now, those two things are your only objectives. If everything else falls by the wayside, if the world comes crumbling at your feet, you will get those two priorities done. Now, when you trim down your priorities, you give yourself a clear path to follow. You know where to direct your time and energy, and that gives you confidence. Don't waste your time with long, rambling to-do lists. Think like a genius and refine your priorities. Number 4, record your dreams. How often do you remember your dreams? Most people forget their dreams within seconds, but you can learn a lot from your dreams. They teach you more about your emotions. They force you to think deeper about your past. They expand your creativity with new combinations and connections. Because dreams have so much value, geniuses keep a dream journal. Right after they wake up, they write down as many details as they can remember. Now, at first, you may not remember much from your dreams. You may recall only a few random details. But with practice, your dream recall will get sharper. Your journal entries will get more detailed, and you'll get a glimpse into your own subconscious. Number 5, create your flow. This ritual is not an activity or a healthy habit. It's a state of mind which stimulates your brain throughout the day. Hyper-intelligent people design routines with their brains in mind. They want to be as efficient and productive as possible, so they use their mornings to create something called flow. Flow is a lot like momentum. It builds upon itself over time, but there's an important distinction between the two concepts. Flow capitalizes on the organization of your brain. It stimulates increased performance by shutting off portions of the brain that you don't need. When finding your flow, you shut down anxious and scared centers of the brain. You shut down the areas that crave distractions and make impulsive decisions. In their place, you activate the most productive and rational parts of your brain. When you find your flow, you'll notice a huge boost in both concentration and performance. Geniuses create their flow right when they wake up. They train their brains with a stable routine which creates their flow day after day. At first, you may struggle to find your flow. If you do, fine-tune your schedule. Create a routine that fits your strengths and preferences. Eventually, you'll discover the secret to effortless productivity. Number 6, nourish your brain. Geniuses use nourishing tea blends to improve memory and concentration. According to a 2008 study in the Journal of Biological Psychology, green tea has a number of neurological benefits. It decreases mental fatigue, it increases cognitive performance, and it even speeds up your reaction time. Geniuses take advantage of these powerful benefits, and that's why they add tea consumptions to their daily routine. By energizing your brain, you start every day feeling nourished and ready to perform. Exercising and eating healthy is also a great way to make sure you feel good during the day. Be sure to incorporate healthy exercise and healthy eating habits into your lifestyle. This will ensure your mind and body are prepared for your daily challenges. Number 7, write about yourself. Journaling is a well-studied habit with a number of applications. It's a place to record and store your thoughts, a place to release all the ideas swirling around your brain. For a genius, this is invaluable. Their journal becomes a collection of important ideas, feelings, and perspectives. It's a priceless asset they use to navigate the day and learn more about themselves. So set aside 15 minutes to write down your thoughts. You don't have to say anything special, and you don't have to share your journal with anyone. Even if you have nothing to say, a journal can help you unravel your thoughts and start your day on a high note. Number 8, elite mastery. Geniuses don't want to be okay at something. They want to be great. They want to be amazing, and that requires an incredible amount of time. It takes about 10 years to gain a working mastery over any skill or subject. But even after 10 years, you won't know everything. You'll compete with the best, but you'll always be learning. To a genius, mastery is the minimum. That's why geniuses pursue mastery every day. They never let anything distract them from their journey. They put in the time and the effort, and that's how they rise to the top of their fields. In your own way, make mastery part of your daily routine. Get better and better until one day, you're the best. Number 9, day stacking. How do geniuses stay organized? Not every genius is an organized person. Some creative minds flourish in messy environments, but there's a big difference between creative clutter and a big disastrous mess. So, how do geniuses keep their messes under control? One technique is called the Daily Three. Every day, no matter what, put 3 items back in the correct place. Your goal isn't to clean your whole house. You probably won't notice the difference. But you'll slowly reduce clutter, creating a less stressful environment. If you use this technique every day, your messes will never spiral out of control. Now, this trick does more than just clean. It exemplifies another lifestyle habit that geniuses use all the time. This habit is called day stacking. Now, day stacking is very simple. A bunch of small things done frequently outweigh a few big things done infrequently. In other words, don't try to accomplish everything in one sitting. Don't save your messes for one big day of cleaning. Instead, just chip away at your work and save yourself from a mountain of stress. Number 10, the 1% rule. Like day stacking, many geniuses use the 1% rule. It's an efficient way to learn using small, frequent improvements. All right, let's say you want to learn a new subject. You could try to learn everything about that subject in one day. But instead of growing your knowledge, you just tire yourself out. After 24 hours, you're so exhausted, you lose interest entirely. You'd be surprised how often this happens, so don't fall into this trap. Don't try to grow your knowledge by 100% in one sitting. Instead, try to improve by just 1%. Yeah, get a little bit better every single day. Learn a little bit more or go a little bit further. Individually, each improvement will not look like much, but all together, you're growing by leaps and bounds. Hey, thanks for watching Top Think, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible content is on the way.
Hey dude, my name's Gilbert. Gilbert the Great. Yeah, the name was Dad's idea. Anyway, today I'm going on an epic journey through the human body. So, you wanna watch? The trip starts as the human heads to the office lunchroom, opens his lunchbox, and finds me in there. What else has he got here? A turkey sandwich, some yogurt. I see he's taking a bite of his sandwich. Oh, now it's my turn. He's put me into his mouth. Oh, it's go time. Gotta be honest, it's pretty wet and warm in here. The mouth is the gateway to the digestive system. That system is designed specifically to transform food into useful nutrients that keep you energized and help your cells grow and repair. So, once you grab the first bite of whatever you're eating, you turn on the digestion machine. As you chew, food is broken up into pieces to make the process easier. Saliva comes in handy as it mixes with food and breaks it down even more. That way, your stomach doesn't have to digest whole chunks of food. By the way, here's a fun fact. The amount of saliva you produce in a year could fill 2 medium-sized bathtubs, almost a pool full of drool. Wow, it's really raining spit in here. Ew. Whoa, I better watch out for these teeth. Wouldn't want to end up like Turkey Boy over there. It's hard since this guy is using his tongue to roll food around in his mouth and toward his teeth. I really don't feel like becoming jam today, so I'm gonna just bypass all this chewing. Down the chute we go. We're now heading into the throat. They also call it the pharynx. Uh-oh, fork in the road. Which way do I go? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Looks like this way we must go. Hang on. Oh, I think I took a wrong turn. Why is everything shaking? Oh, poor human is coughing like crazy. Somebody give him a nice slap on the back. There we go.